On June 27th, DeepSeek and Peking University jointly released the DSpark Inference Acceleration Framework that a paper signed by Liang Wenfeng was uploaded at the same time. This is not a new model. The IT is a speculative decoding module added on top of DeepSeek V4-Pro and V4-Flash. It does not change output quality. It does not change the model architecture. It does exactly one thing: make inference run faster. Large language models generate text one token at a time. For every single token, the GPU has to compute the entire model from beginning to end. If you generate an answer of 100 tokens, the GPU runs 100 full passes. That is the root cause of why large model inference is slow and expensive. The new technical solution is straightforward. First, a semi-autoregressive architecture. The backbone network produces the base information for all candidate positions in one shot, and a lightweight sequential module fills in the dependency relationships, token by token. You get both speed and high quality. Drafts point to advantages at once. Second, confidence-based scheduling verification. Score every candidate token on how likely it is to be kept. Then dynamically decide how long a draft to verify, allocating computation only to the tokens that have the highest chance of being retained. Now, under the same throughput, single user generation speed improves by 60% to 85%. No chip replacement, no architecture changed, no extra electricity required. Only the inference path is changed. The paper, training code, and model checkpoints are all fully open source. What does this mean? It means the moat of Western closed-source AI is being breached, step by step. Let us look deeper. The core narrative of Western AI is built on three assumptions. Large models must rely on stacking computing power. Computing power must rely on high-end chips, and only we can make those high-end chips. You can also think of it as throwing parameters at the problem at all costs. That is why Nvidia sells sky-high GPUs, OpenAI charges sky-high API fees, and the market awards them dozens of times price-to-sales ratios. And DSpark proves one thing: a dramatic improvement in computing efficiency can come from algorithms, not chips. Without additional chips and power, just with better code, inference speed can rise by more than 60%. The narrative that computing power is perpetually scarce has been torn open. DeepSeek finally fills in that missing puzzle piece. But the most ruthless part of DSpark is not speed. It is that DeepSeek has finally completed the one puzzle piece it was missing. If you have followed the AI industry long enough, you know a fact. DeepSeek's base model capability has never been far behind Claude's. But Claude has one thing DeepSeek has never had: Claude Code. Claude Code is an agent tool that can directly operate a code base, read files, edit code, and run tests. A huge number of developers use it every day to write code, fix bugs, and refactor. These usage processes generate a massive amount of data. What kind of instructions produce what kind of feedback, in what scenarios it makes mistakes, what edge cases need special handling. This data flows continuously back to Anthropic to train the next generation of Claude. That is the so-called flywheel effect. Claude Code leads to user usage, which generates data, which trains Claude, which makes Claude stronger, which makes Claude Code stronger, which attracts more users, which generates more data. After an enormous accumulation of data, the impression becomes, Claude is just too smart that IT can handle any tricky problem. What DeepSeek lacked was exactly this link, the engineering closed loop, the landing point that can collect real user behavior data at scale. DeepSeek's valuation deserves a reassessment. DSpark solves fast and cheap. Inference speed improves by over 60%, costs drop dramatically. Then what? Then DeepSeek can go after Claude Code's users. The same agent capability, but a faster, cheaper, open source and auditable alternative. How will developers choose? When DeepSeek's engineering flywheel starts turning, when user data begins to flow back, when those edge cases start getting covered. How much irreplaceability does Claude have left? The assessment from industry insiders is razor sharp. Once DeepSeek reaches the same level as Claude, Claude's valuation narrative is at risk. What is interesting is that the capital markets reaction actually preceded the technology landing by several weeks. I often marvel at how capital's sense of smell is almost unbelievably acute. This is also why I believe the AI era truly belongs to capital, and the ability to read the capital market will be absolutely critical going forward. On June 2nd, a triple-top divergence structure was officially confirmed. On June 18th, the Nasdaq surged 2.48%, Intel skyrocketed 9%, the United States and Iran officially signed a memorandum of understanding declaring an end to the Middle East war. On the same day, Trump announced on Truth Social that Apple had agreed to partner with Intel to design and manufacture chips on U.S. soil. Trump painstakingly engineered two overlapping positive catalysts, and the market cheered. But that day saw massive volume. Chips were being exchanged, some rushed in. Some ran for the exit. On June 23rd, the Nasdaq lost over $1 trillion in market cap in a single day. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index plunged 7.87%. On June 26th, the Nasdaq broke below its 50-day moving average, the line institutions call the midterm sentiment lifeline. Tech stock funds saw a net outflow of $17.8 billion in 1 week, the largest weekly outflow in months. Multiple bear market signals have now flashed in unison that if DSpark was the logical confirmation, then the market's price action is the world's smartest minds voting with K-lines. Substance and form have converged, the tide has turned, and the DSpark story is only just beginning. With one single cut, it stabbed three things. The premium logic of computing power scarcity, because algorithm optimization can replace some chip demand. The moat of expensive closed-source AI, because open-source solutions let global developers run inference at lower cost. And the exclusive advantage of the engineering flywheel, because when DeepSeek can also have its own Claude Code, when user data starts to flow back, Anthropic's valuation logic will have to be rewritten. I wonder if they can still sleep at night. Anthropic CEO has been busy lately banning accounts, banning users who use the Claude API for bulk data collection. Strictly speaking, he is not banning accounts. He is banning the fuel for Claude's own flywheel. Of course, due to the pride deep in his bones, he probably does not see it that way.